Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dungeons & Dragons Second Age. How are we all doing?
It's good to be back.
It is good to be back, after a long hiatus of doing other things.
Yep.
But it's okay, because the people watching this won't know, because I haven't uploaded for about 2 months. So
Nice.
they're going to have a whole backlog of it all at the same time, so they're not going to know the difference.
Oh,
The secret was safe until we mentioned it specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. We could have pretended that this was immediately a week after the last one.
We could have. But, now that that's all said and done, who would like to dig deep into their memory vaults and tell us precisely what happened the last time we played this game?
It's hard to remember.
It has been a while.
Ironically, all I can remember is the restoring of memories.
Yes. So, this story began with all of you departing Emberoth with your newly acquired party member.
Yes. Hello, old lady.
Yes. You
Wow.
reacquired the
What?
companionship of Lithari. And then on the road home, had an interesting discovery as you ran into some travellers. Nobody remembers.
No, we went to the place that
Oh, yeah.
Grimm's old company, I guess is the
Oh
proper
yeah,
term for
yeah,
that?
Yes.
it was a village that we kind of sieged. That was weird.
Yeah. And we
Uh,
found a lot of ghosts.
Yes.
And we tried to appease the ghosts.
I think we kind of succeeded, is the conclusion we came to.
Yeah, I mean, we blew up a wall and we're like, the source of corruption is gone. Maybe it will fix over time.
Also,
The
we
evil
gave
is
a-
defeated.
Yeah. Wall explodes.
We also made a grave for
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
an angry spirit.
Oh yeah. We made a grave for a body we found in a door,
You did.
like in a closet.
Yeah, but with that you returned to Grimm's hometown, picked up some supplies that you had commissioned, including a large safe and some potions,
Yeah.
and then headed back to your the Amber Eagle stronghold to discover that you had an old friend as a guest. The Lady Elenia of Felkir had come to act as a liaison and emissary for the dragon situation for the Elven Kingdoms.
Huzzah.
You exchanged thoughts and strategies. And yeah, you'd begun to make plans as to the best way to assault this dragon. Elizabeth had some memories restored after a revelation concerning the people whose name I forget, the Cabal, and their members. And then we ended with a scene between Lithari and Elizabeth, which is where we are picking up, I believe.
Yes. So I was about to go mess with the elite elven guard.
Yes.
And I had just woken up, so this is gonna go great.
Alright.
Yeah.
Hey,
So Lithari I believe I had mentioned that she had procured
Eggs.
eggs from somewhere.
Yes.
I think what she's just gonna do is just basically parkour her way to what's the area around here like? Is because it looks relatively flat grasslands on the map, but is it like in the forest or something?
So it is basically a flat area of grassland that extends overviews the town of Ivywood Market and borders onto the Elven Forest.
Okay. Then yeah, I think what she's going to do then is oh god, this is tough. Hadn't given this much thought. That's all I'll say.
Your story doesn't have a lot of details.
Mm-hmm.
You've only had a week to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little more than a week, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but
Oh,
I was
no.
quoting.
What I think she's just going to do is just like parkour up onto the wall, and then basically like like tightrope walk along the top of it,
Mhm.
While just like dropping eggs off the side of it, off the outside of it periodically. And whenever she's about to get seen, just fucking like stealth game, hang off the ledge, but on the inside.
Okay. So, I will say then, give me a stealth check.
Okay.
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 Not the best, but not the worst.
Okay. So, you spend maybe about 5 minutes sort of creeping around this wall, following the storm guard as he's patrolling around the outside, and you just occasionally, when you find an opportune moment, drop the egg and then take cover behind the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first couple of times, he's a little bit suspicious and sort of doesn't really see anything. Then he begins to sort of notice the trail, and he starts looking up along the top of the wall. And you sort of, as you're like peering up and like pulling yourself up and peering over the top of the wall, he's sort of like, "Is someone there?"
How close are we to the gate at this point?
Probably reasonably close.
Okay, I'm gonna drop off of the wall, and go over to the gate and just like knock on the gate from the inside and just kind of like shout like, "Hey, is anybody there?"
Okay. Yeah, you hear the sound of footsteps coming from the other side of the door, and it says, "Hello."
Hi. I was wondering if it was all right for me to come out and take a walk. I'm just letting you guys know.
Sort of pushes on the double doors and pushes it open, like sees you and sort of says, "Sure."
Yeah, and I think Lithari also brought her painter supplies out with her, and she just kind of like pats the leather wraps that she has it in. It's just like and with like an easel or something under her arm, like a small one, and it's just like, I thought I'd take the opportunity to try and find a nice landscape around here to paint.
Sort of like looks out at the dark landscape ahead of you and sort of says, "Well, I guess that's fine. It's..."
Mm-hmm. And I think Lithari just steps outside and just like bows slightly and just says, "All right, thank you. Yeah, I know how you guys like to be, just notified of stuff going in and out. So I thought I'd I'd give you the heads up and not just disappear in the middle of the night and show up a little bit later.
He sort of nods and says, well, you're free to go about your business. We're here to escort the Lady of Felkir and nothing more.
All right. Well, I'm sure you don't want. I'm sure the last thing you'd want is strange old ladies like myself randomly wandering about.
Wouldn't be the strangest thing I've seen all night, but go about yourself.
Well, I imagine you see a lot of strange stuff on jobs like yours.
Every now and again.
She says as if she hasn't had that job.
And I think she just like pats them on the shoulder and it's just like, well, keep up the good work, and then heads out.
Okay.
Yeah. At which point, Elizabeth will presumably snap back to consciousness as she moves out of range.
Yeah.
For the connection with Scarlet.
Okay. Arya, make me a perception check.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not great.
That is frankly awful.
Yeah.
So you go to the window as you're sort of getting up and noticing that it's open and that Lithari is missing. You look out of the window, and you sort of peer into the dark, and you see like the gate close. And you don't see anything more of
Wow.
what happened.
Well, on the bright side, at least you saw the gate close. Could have been worse.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of hard to miss Elizabeth sat on the roof. I'd imagine.
I suppose you look to one side and Elizabeth is just sitting on a roof.
As you do.
I mean, as long as you're inside the compound.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Okay.
I don't know where Lithari is.
Yep. So I guess you just return to doing whatever it is that you do when you're not meditating.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I also imagine Scarlet is sort of like has the instinct, like seeing that Lithari's leaving, to just leave and go back.
Yeah,
to
just
Elizabeth.
returns to Elizabeth.
But she probably also wouldn't. I don't imagine she'd return silently. She'd like do the simple telepathic communication, just be like Elizabeth, so Lithari knows where she's going, and then fly off.
Yep. Okay.
And then as soon as she gets back, it's probably time to go to bed.
Mhm.
So given the ceiling's too tall, I'd have to teleport down to the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, going to bed.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone goes around about their evening things. And yeah, before morning comes, I need to borrow Grim for a second.
Oh, no.
Once again.
Okay.
Well,
So, perhaps a little later than you were expecting, you find yourself in the peculiar dream state that you're becoming familiar with when the Supreme Witch wishes to speak to you. This time, as you're standing in the dreamscape, it's almost... compared to the previous visions that you've had, this seems almost hastily constructed. You find yourself standing on a flat black surface that extends off indefinitely for as far as the eye can see. And sitting on a red padded chair in the middle of this black, like endless blackness is the Supreme Witch. She sort of beckons you to approach, and as you are moving towards her, you catch like a better look at her face as you get closer. And notice that she still has the signs of looking very tired and very worn. with the exception that now she has basically like a split mark from like almost the corner of her mouth down her chin to like the base of her neck. That almost seems to be emitting a faint radiant glow. She sort of cautiously like nurses this as you approach and addresses you and says, "Well, what news?
Well,
Have you made plans?"
we have acquired the rods that we need to travel back and forth to between the different planes. So that's a good head start. Oh well, not really a head start considering it took us weeks to even get our hands on those. But we are like I'm pretty sure the others are convinced that we that a trip is beneficial to all of us. However, it is still going to take a bit of time in order to actually get there. Travel is not very swift.
She wipes her brow in slight frustration, sort of says, "We are rapidly running out of time. The Dread Legion is
Well-
already on the move. I have managed to hold them off for a period of time, but they are planning again."
Well, there is one thing you could potentially provide that might speed it up. Well, I'm not quite sure of the specifics of how this works. Would you have a magic circle available?
She gives you a sort of like an analyzing look and says, "We have access to one."
We have the ability to, well, use them. However, I will admit I have not talked with our wizard as to the specifics of how it works. However, I had the realization that perhaps if we could, well, gain access to that circle, we could speed up our journey a bit. However, I am not sure how to. Well, I don't know how it works. If it's just, I assume you know more of these of how that works.
She sort of she thinks for a moment and sort of says, "I don't know how much use it will be to you. A teleportation circle only works on the same plane of existence, so..."
The other plane from here.
Sorry, say that again?
Oh, so we might be able to get to the other plane from here or nearby. But if it's not something you're willing to do, then I guess we're just gonna have to wait for the slightly longer journey or slower journey. The distance is the same. And by the
Discuss
looks
this
of
with
it,
your group.
I haven't discussed this yet because I didn't actually think of it until I saw your scar. Looking at the long, almost glowing.
Yeah.
Scar. It reminded me of it.
She sits up slightly straighter in the chair and says, "Discuss it, and if it is within your group's means, then I will pay your wizard a visit.
I will warn you. They might not be too happy with an unexpected visit, so a heads up would be probably a good idea.
Well,
But we're good.
if what Illyria
Regardless.
tells me is true, she will need to remove her protections first. But I'm sure you can
Yeah.
arrange that.
Most likely. But no. But this is all just hypothetical until we actually confirm it can be done. Otherwise, I am curious though, because you do seem to be suffering quite a bit. Are you not as powerful as you promised to be, or?
The Legion are making plays that are unexpected. We have managed to hold them off, but they have won a few minor surprise victories. If you are not careful, they will launch the same kind of attack they did on me, on you. And without the information that I hold, I think you will find that to be extremely unpleasant.
Well, any attack is unpleasant, but I think I get what you're saying.
A cruel smile curls at the corner of her lips, and she says, "Oh, I think you'd find this one to be positively debilitating."
Well, guess we'll have to find out.
Pray you find out from me and not from them.
Well, at least I can tell that you have the best for us at heart, making sure that we trying to abuse your knowledge in order to get us to do things. Although I get it, it's not, you don't get this information for free. So why would I?
In such a grand game, it helps to hold all the cards.
Yeah, but it's also important to know when to play them. But
Precisely.
you've clearly made up your mind. I guess we have very little to discuss here.
And as you say that, the dream vision is just cut and you are awake in bed.
Well.
She hung up on you.
It was
Yeah.
just like
Oh,
really weird. Oh, hi.
There
wow.
we go.
We are back.
Yes, and
Back
Welcome
from his
back.
dream sequence.
everything went perfectly fine.
I'm sure it went well. At all.
Okay. So, you all awaken the next morning. Some of you in slightly more ecstatic spirits than others. But yes. I suppose actually the thing that happens first is Arya is awake and Lithari comes back to the room.
Ah, yeah, of course.
And this is the early hours of the morning.
So, where were you last night?
I think she reaches up. She reaches under her arm and pulls out a large piece of parchment and kind of unfurls it, showing that she has a sketch of the base in charcoal with the sunrise and stuff.
That's
Thought it would
very
be
lovely.
a nice. Yeah. I thought Grim could hang it somewhere. He has an office or something, right? He must.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of. I mean, I understand. I would assume getting a mercenary company off the ground is not the easiest task, but you guys could still put a little bit more effort into livening up this place with decorations.
Wow.
She has a point. It is very Spartan.
Well,
To be fair, having it very Spartan is very grim.
I was gonna say that's Grim is clearly the one who designed everything.
Grim in two senses of the word.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, yeah. You all eventually gather downstairs, ready for food. The thing that slightly interrupts all of you getting ready to eat breakfast and startles a number of early rising mercenaries is as you are all gathered in the hall preparing to eat your breakfast, almost like a gateway of light appears smack bang in the middle of the breakfast hall that makes several of you spring to your feet and ready swords and spells. But as it materializes, a red curtained drape falls in front of it. The drape is pushed aside, and Lady Elena of Elkir steps through.
Oh, whoa.
Well,
That's
Oh,
quite the entrance, my lady.
good morning, everyone. I didn't realize I'd chosen quite such a public venue to sequester myself away. I'm sorry about that.
Well-
it's alright. It's better that. Well, we're just glad it's you and not somebody else.
Yes, I can understand. That's appearing in the middle of the breakfast hall is somewhat of a surprising event. I wouldn't want my one of my many enemies to appear in that fashion.
So wait, that's where you were spending the night?
Yes.
What kind of spell is that?
A particular trick of a wizard called Modern Kynan. He has a somewhat of a fascination for extraplanar spaces and being able to secret things away. This is effectively my home away from home.
That does sound like him. Honestly, we've got a very different spell to be our sort of home away from home. But hey, it keeps us safe enough at night. Probably not as roomy though, as an extra dimensional place.
Perhaps not. I certainly find it convenient. It's provides more of a isolated space when I'm on the road.
Yeah, I can certainly imagine.
Well, if you're interested and, well, have time and materials, I could perhaps teach you.
Wait, Elizabeth's eyes just light up, and she's like, I am always interested in learning new magic.
It will take quite a while, so perhaps after you return?
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Also, like, an out-of-character thought, did we actually, we still have that crystal, which is the replay, essentially, don't we? I'm pretty sure we still have it.
Yeah, I think you
Believe
kept
so.
it.
Yeah.
You don't have a reliable way to replay it, but
No. Other than just bumping my own magic into it.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess I then look at the party and go, so, yeah, I imagine we have a lot of stuff to talk about once we've eaten.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Try to eat quickly then, give us more time.
Yeah. Okay. So you finish all your food, gather in the war room for your discussion. Do you want anybody else there, or is it just you guys?
I think we're just gonna keep it's just gonna be us. Maybe Lady. Oh, I forget her full name.
Elenia or Falkia?
Yes.
Elenia. Yeah, you can invite Elenia.
Well, it's more like I don't know if she wants to be there or not, but we wouldn't stop her.
Well, she has no expressed desire to be there if it's just a briefing.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so it's just the five of you then.
Just like good.
Well, like that's just one less thing to worry about.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So the five of you gather in the war room. Sort of sit down to have your discussion. Lithari is like looking at the walls, like sizing up a place to put this picture.
Yeah. Well, she needs to paint it first, but you know.
So I guess one of the things I want to ask is, are people still, okay with taking this day as still just, prep day while I test out some stuff with the elementals?
Well, I should, like, a little bit of prep won't hurt.
Besides, as well, like, it'd help me get you guys' input on which one you think would be best. I'd hate to just we need to work together on this after all.
Well, I'm sure you'll come to the best conclusion. I think one of the more important things right now is we kind of want to hunt down this dragon, but I feel like in order to hunt it down, we're gonna have to know where it is. Sure, it might try and seek us out, but it also has its home.
Yeah. And if it intercepted us elsewhere in the forest, it could easily just retreat back home.
Yes. That's the thing that we should probably see if we can address today. Arya, would you have any solutions for this?
No. I don't know how to fight a dragon.
Well, think of it like tracking a bird.
I mean, I think it's
guess.
gonna come to us. I don't think we'll
Well,
have to worry about that part.
Well, yeah, but
It's the chasing it down part that I'm worried about.
I mean, we might be able to the only thing I can think of is trapping it somehow, but I don't know what we would do to trap a dragon.
Yes, if I'm understanding this correct, our two options are to either, once it engages us, either track it back to where it came from or try to keep it there if it attempts to flee.
Yeah.
I feel like our first option should be to try and keep it, because I quite like the idea of fighting it in its own home. That seems like a bad idea.
Well,
technically,
regardless,
I suppose the forest is its home as much as whatever lair it's chosen.
Well, the upside would be its lair probably. Well, I guess it hasn't been around long enough for it to be wealthy. Or maybe from the olden days.
That's your concern?
Well, no, but I was just sidetracked.
But I do have a spell that could potentially track it. I don't know if the range will be long enough.
Let's see.
That's my way of saying I can cast Locate Creature.
Like, I'm gonna assume that we're gonna have to track it for at least a couple of miles. Although, as soon as it retreats, if we know in which general direction it's going, then
yeah, it's a good start. So Locate Creature could help.
But in order to keep it there, I'm still not sure what we would do.
I mean, my only thought is to cause damage to the wings. That's how you stop a bird from flying away, right?
That is the easiest. Well, I say easiest. That would be the logical way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's easy.
Yeah, it definitely won't be easy, but if we cause enough damage to the wings, it won't be able to fly away. I don't know how fast it is on the ground, but
Probably still pretty fast.
yeah,
But it can't
but
just
probably not
up
as
and
fast as
leave.
flying. And also, it'd have to find a way through. It'd have to find ways through the trees.
Mm,
I don't think that's going to be much of a problem for it to just push through.
yeah, it's a big
True.
fucking dragon.
Yeah,
I don't know how
he's,
much problem trees are gonna pose.
But if it's running away on foot, smashing those trees aside is going to exhaust it eventually, and it's going to
Yeah.
be rather easy to track. I feel like anybody could track a dragon running through a forest.
Yeah, if it
Yeah.
was, it would be like also like some trees are pretty fucking strong.
That's not a bet. I would not bet on the tree stopping the dragon. but-
Yeah, I'm not gonna bet on a tree.
Yeah.
Tree
No,
stopping the
I'm not
dragon.
betting on a tree stopping a dragon, but I'm betting on the dragon going. I can't. Like it's a waste to just smash through a tree.
Well,
He-
fortunately, you can go either left or right of the tree.
Exactly.
Well, unfortunately for us, I guess. But
But well, I guess what I'm saying is it's easier for us as smaller creatures to maneuver through a forest.
but in order for that to be relevant, we actually need to get to the point where
Yeah,
where it can't fly.
of course.
My first instinct would be chains, but I don't think chains would be strong enough.
Yeah, even then we'd need to attach it to the dragon somehow.
Yeah, but like that's just like first think of a way how to stop it from flying, and then think about the implementation because there might be an answer.
I mean, I still think wings are best bet, but that's not going to be easy at all.
No.
Unfortunately, wings is not really a plan.
Yeah.
But we can just
I-
try and dice away at one of the wings, I guess. We only need to get rid of
Well,
one.
Yeah. Also, if admittedly this is relying on it being at least similar to birds in terms of how it's able to fly, damaging the tail would also be an option.
I don't think
is used for aerial control. If it didn't,
I
have the
feel
tail,
like
it wouldn't
that's
be able
not how
to fly properly.
I don't think that's how dragons work.
Lithari, you had something?
Again, I'm mostly here in a assistive capacity rather than a consultant one. But if we were simply to drive it off back to its lair and track it down there, it would simplify things a great deal in that once confronted in its lair, it would have nowhere else to flee.
Yes, it would. Or we can always go for
Yeah. Well, I suppose
The-
that depends what its lair is.
yeah.
And plus, what's the point? What's the fun in fighting a dragon if you don't get a nice shiny reward afterwards?
Staying
mean-
alive is the biggest point. But
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
being alive would be
Yeah,
good.
our reward is not having a dragon literally outside our front door.
also the
Or
body
on
of
the front doors of anybody else in the area, for that
Yeah,
matter.
and reuniting trade to the west.
plus the body of a dragon is quite valuable. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were going to get parts for Lady Felka.
Yeah, like the glands, I think. Well, she wrote
Yeah.
me a note, so I'll.
Yeah, poison glands, like behind the.
Don't worry, we
Throat?
we got it on paper.
Yeah.
We'll just bring the paper.
It's like a shopping list, but of dragon parts.
Basically.
But yeah. But I do think we have no reliable way of keeping the dragon down. So the only thing that remains, if we're gonna end up chasing it to its lair, is it's gonna be in the air. Does everybody have a bow or similar device.
Yeah, something to hit it while it's out of reach of our normal up close weapons.
Sort
I
of.
do.
I don't know. Let me check.
Well,
But you have a bow.
I was being facetious.
I think that's the joke.
I don't know how far you can how far you can throw the.
How throw you can far?
Yeah, I've never
Uh.
thrown a far either.
Yeah, it's a hard one to measure.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, like that, like the javelin is great. However, you might see the issue because my throwing knives aren't quite gonna cut it.
I mean, I can take. I mean, I don't think we'll be able to keep haste, but I do have the assistance of a mount to get us a little closer and in the air. At least, probably two
Oh,
of us.
yeah.
I would say.
Of
Actually, I don't know.
course.
Can my griffin carry more than? I would assume two of us, but I don't know if three.
I think it can carry 2 of you. It just can't move at full speed when you are carrying 2.
Oh,
Because I think it has a weight limit rather than a capacity.
You know what?
yeah. I
having
think.
having the griffin as well, that would give a second thing flying around the dragon, which would, mean it couldn't just fly away and, use the fact that we can't find the air to focus down the elemental that will be using.
Yes. Well, so we'll use the Griffin. I'll get out my crossbow or something. Lithari, you had a bow, I believe.
Because, getting Kelariis close is probably our best bet for putting anything down.
Well, I think
It would. Yeah, the Griffin would allow our more close quarters combatants to engage it in the air. It might also be worth considering putting Grim on there with his fancy new sword.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, like I wouldn't want to accidentally drop it in the air.
Yeah, Grim.
Grim? Yeah,
Yeah.
Grim and his fear fights.
Grim's not the best at flying we've got.
Look,
No, actually, that is.
I've
a
never-
Point. If V is still around. V's is here,
Oh, yeah.
like not outside, right? Like she's here at the keep right now.
She is here,
Right.
yes.
It may be worth asking if we can borrow the broom for.
that would be a great idea.
I got it, guys. I'll just ride the dragon.
Fantastic.
No.
I'm sure nothing bad will happen with that.
No.
Yeah. Well, we have some grappling hooks. Just
Yeah.
Oh,
grapple onto
God.
the dragon. Oh, that would be that's death sentence. Oh well.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
But no, the broom is definitely a good idea. So get the broom, you summon your mount. I can't remember how long that lasts, but
Until I dismiss or gets killed, I think. It should
Oh.
be. So I can actually do that today, even.
you should probably do that today.
I will do that today.
I think I'm gonna have to end up using the broom, unfortunately. What else? I think we've got our basics covered. Oh yes, before I forget to do this, I will hand out the potions that we made. The potions of
Yes.
is it poison of acid resistance? They're poison
Poison
resistant, I
resistance,
believe.
yes.
Oh, I should also prepare you guys for the eventuality that, the elemental might go rogue if things go wrong.
Well, we've dealt with
Right.
elementals before.
If I lose my concentration, the elemental doesn't go away.
Sorry, I have hiccups. If
Yeah, you're having a real fun time with that.
Yeah.
I'm like struggling. I'm trying to mute my mic when I'm not talking. Man, it's happening.
So yeah, if the dragon manages to break my concentration while I've got the elemental out, it will just attack anyone.
Well, as long as you keep it near the dragon, then that shouldn't be a problem, right?
I guess. But
And
it's still a thing to look out for.
Yeah.
as long as you just give us the heads up, I think we'll be fine. Anything else that anybody wants to suggest? guess
I'll
that's-
probably need some additional ammunition once we.
Oh,
That's easily arranged.
yeah. We should probably, yeah, but we'll get right on that. Otherwise, I think we've done a decent job of, well, getting everything, or at least anything. Yeah, I can't think of anything else I need to remember to do today.
Damn it!
I'm sorry, I had to do that just because Rob thought he cured them, and I was like, it's still happening.
Rip.
Normally that works. I gave her math problems.
Oh.
All I did was plug it in my calculator. Like,
Oh,
I
see,
don't
you
know
didn't
what
do
you
it
thought was gonna
properly.
What the
No,
fuck? You thought I was
that's
gonna
not
do
how
math?
That's not how you get rid of hiccups.
It
The way
is,
You
you
get rid of hiccups. No, you either take a long drink or you hold your breath and swallow 3 times.
Oh. I make people do math problems because it makes them think and they stop thinking about hiccuping.
No, I always either will just take a long drink of something or.
Anyway,
Oh,
Well,
Maybe that's
actually,
one.
because hiccups are a difference between your breathing and your diaphragm, it's actually just about regulating that again.
Yeah, so holding your breath would work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd
Yeah,
actually never
yeah,
heard of
that's
the
why-
math problems thing, by the way.
And also, yeah, that's why I do taking a long drink. 'Cause it stops you breathing because you're drinking.
My favorite one is the drinking from the other side of the glass.
Oh,
one, 'cause
yeah.
Anybody who does it just looks like the stupidest motherfucker.
anyway, dragons.
Yes.
Dragons, not hiccups.
I think that is, well, yeah, handed out potions. Well, actually, I guess there's no real need to do that right now, but regular health potions. Should probably make sure everybody has at least one of them.
That's probably a good idea.
And you
I mean, how
have-
many do we have?
I have exactly one, and I have one on me. Well, no, actually, that's the only one I have on me. And then we have one in the bag of holding. We've one supreme healing potion,
Supreme.
which is
Healing in the Supreme!
which
Yeah,
is a
I
big
have
one.
one healing potion.
I do not have a potion.
I also do not have any potions of any sort.
I thought we had more. Well, I guess we ran out.
So much for our fucking planning, eh?
Well, that's what we have today for.
I don't think we're gonna get lucky in Ivywood Market, but we might as well give it a go.
Yeah, better to have tried and failed than never to have tried at all. That's what my father always used to say.
Okay. So, sounds like to me you have some plans.
Yes.
So which do you want to do first? Getting potions or talking to V?
Let's do the
And
potions
who wants
first,
to do what? Because you can split
Well-
the group and do it.
because talking to V was Jayla's idea, right? So maybe we should wait till she's back at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
We're-
Okay.
The potions we
Well-
can take care of right now.
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth's going to be in the courtyard summoning an elemental.
Okay. So Grim and anyone else who wants to go can go to the shops.
I think Lithari will probably hang back, and I think she's actually just going to spend this day sitting outside, continuing to sketch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay,
If anyone
so
needs her, she's just sitting out in the street, so easy enough.
Wait, what?
Lithari is spending the day painting.
Ah, okay.
Grim is going to go and buy some potions, and you have been
Oh.
given the job of going to talk to V.
And I'll see
Ah,
if I can fetch some arrows whilst I'm there for Lithari. Probably not going to be quite up to standard, but oh well.
Well, I will say, as part of your regularly purchased supplies for the for your stronghold, arrows is the thing that is on that list. So if you reimburse Vondal for some arrows, you can get some arrows.
If I reimburse?
If you reimburse Vondal, like give him some gold for
Oh.
arrows.
Well, we gave him 1,000 when we came back, so I guess he'll have to deal with that.
Yeah, okay. So I imagine that's how the conversation goes with Vondal. Vondal's like, you're like, have you got any arrows? Vondal's like, yeah, sure. Are you gonna like pay for them? And he's like, and you're like, well, we gave you 1,000 gold earlier, and he's like, yeah, okay, fine. Just gives you a quiver of arrows.
Wow.
Most
Checks out.
expensive arrow ever.
1,000
Singular
gold
arrow?
rounds.
Jeez.
Wow. I really hope that's not a singular arrow.
I hope not. Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
And then
damn
for
special arrow.
now for the one that I'm actually worried about, and that's the potions, because
Okay. So, I guess I would like you to make me. I guess this is probably the best thing to roll is an investigation check. As you
What?
go around all of the places you can think of in town that might still have healing potions for sale.
oh,
Okay.
Hey,
Nice.
actually decent.
not bad.
So, using your contacts that in town and your general reputation as being, well, the Amber
Awesome.
Eagle, you manage to club together basically a small group of 3 health potions from various sellers who are reluctant to relinquish them, but considering that you are who you are and that you are going to do what you're going to do, they are willing to sell it only at a slightly higher markup. They are willing to sell you health potions at 75... No, wait, hold on. Is it 100 gold they are normally?
What? They're 50 gold.
They're 50 gold. They're 50 gold normally, so 75 gold per potion.
I like how that's a slight markup, 50%.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, it could be worse, is the thing.
Well, see, I was gonna be, I was hoping they were just gonna be like, oh sure, okay, we have some, and then I was gonna be like, have a little extra, but I feel like they'd already demanded it themselves, so I'll take them.
Well, yeah, like these aren't like merchants who are like, oh yeah, we've got a couple left. These are like people who are hoarding them in times threatened by a dragon, going, I'm going to keep this for myself or people that I care about in case I need it.
Yeah.
But I felt like they hadn't really revealed it was all about the dragon yet.
No, but they know about the there's rumors and dangers.
Okay.
So they don't know that it's especially a dragon, but they know that they are forbidden from going in the forest, and people have come out telling horror stories about being mauled by creatures.
So,
And then we're gonna go deal with it.
so 225 gold for the lot. That makes, yes. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just buy it and then, yeah.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it. The only other thing I do whilst I'm there is check if there's if this what's she called again? The captain, the guard.
Oh, the guard captain. Yeah, the
Just check
local
if she
magic-
has any knowledge, but if she doesn't, like as to where the dragon might be and all that stuff.
To summarize her interaction briefly, she doesn't know where the dragon is. She knows that it has been seen flying up and down the forest by scouts who've been sent to keep an eye on things. And she also informs you that if you're going into the forest, to watch out, because basically people have been the scouts that have been sent to the edge of the forest have not just reported the suspicious animal behavior that you noticed previously, but there is a fog that seems to move around the forest almost with a purpose.
Oh boy.
Well,
Don't like that.
that's not ideal, but we'll have to make it work.
Last time there was a creepy fog and a dragon, I was in Sovngarde.
Well, I guess we'll have to finally make use of the charges that we made. That's actually, maybe that might not even be enough in the fog. Oh well, but we'll see how that works out.
Okay. So while Grim is doing that, Kelariis and anybody else who wants to go, you head to V's room.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if the door is open, closed, but I will knock if it is closed.
So as you get to the door of her room, it is slightly ajar.
I guess I'll probably still knock, but also just be like, V, are you in there?
She comes scurrying over to the door and like pulls the door open and says, "Oh, Kelariis, what's up?"
Well, first of all, I guess it's been a while since we've really talked. I hope you've been doing all right.
She sort of like nods and smiles and says, "Yeah, I had a talk with Grim last night, and well, I think I know what I'm doing now."
Oh?
She sort of like beckons you to come in, and you notice that like her traveling pack is open on the bed, and she's like sort of packing things into it. She says, "Yeah, I've been wondering for a long time what my purpose is, and how I'm supposed to use all of this power and knowledge that I've been given. And I realized that actually my gut instinct all along for this whole thing has been to, well, go out and tell people. To let people know, like, all of the stuff that I've learned. And I think that's the best thing I can do."
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, if that's what you think is what you need to do, then by all means. That's a tough one to figure out, so.
Yeah. I'm not really sure where it's going to lead, or how I'm going to get to everyone to try and tell them, but I'm hoping that maybe I can get other people to go on from where I go on and tell more people.
I think that's how a lot of the churches do it, don't they? They send out people who will then, in theory, send out more people or something like that.
Yeah. See, I've been talking with someone for a while about, well, religions and stuff, and I'm not sure that what I want is like a religion. I think I just want people to be informed about what's really out there and the choices they have to make.
I mean, the most important thing for people is to know that they have a choice and that they can make it. So I think that that's a great thing to do. It doesn't have to be a religion, it's just... He just kind of like shrugs, just letting people know they have the option.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Do you know where you're gonna head first, then?
Well, I think I'm going to go home first. There's somebody there I want to talk to. And when I'm done talking with them, maybe I'll know where to go next. I suppose it doesn't really matter where I go. I think the elves might be more willing to hear what it is that I have to say, but...
I think that people will listen to you no matter what, V. You've always been very good at that.
So gives you a little hug and says, "Thank you, Kelariis."
You'll be... You know, if this is the thing that you're setting your mind to, I think you'll get it done. It'll happen. Though, I guess before you go, I did actually come to ask, I guess a favor, though, maybe considering you're leaving, this might not be the most opportune thing to ask of you.
Oh.
There's... I mean, you know about the dragon that's in the area, I'm sure.
She nods with a very stern look.
We're trying to figure out other ways that we could potentially go after it if it does decide to fly. We were wondering if you'd lend us your broom, but if you're leaving, I don't know if that's how you were intending to travel.
Yeah, she sort of like looks at the broom in the corner that is like propped up against the bed and so says, "Well, I did think it would make it easier, but I guess I could hold off on going for a couple of days if you need it."
If you wouldn't mind, I think it would be helpful to us. But I also don't want to keep you from doing the things that you need to do.
She sort of nods and smiles and says, "I think I decided that maybe the hero stuff isn't exactly what I was looking for, but if it can help you guys, and, well, I really don't like that dragon. It uses magic in, well, ways that go against everything that I've learned about magic. You should take it, and be careful.
We will.
I've seen what it does to animals. It uses fear as a tool to make them do what it wants. And I think it'll try to do the same thing to people. You shouldn't listen to it.
We won't. We'll stick together and we'll keep each other safe. But thank you for the warning.
She sort of picks up the broom, like, holds it out towards you, and then just as you're about to take it, pulls it back, like, looks at the broom, and whispers to it, "You be nice."
Yeah, I mean, if she'll let me, I would like to give her a hug and just kind of...
Oh, she's down for that.
Yeah, I was like, it's V. I feel like V will not mind.
Yeah.
Just, you take care of yourself when you go, okay? I know you'll be alright.
Yeah. Well, if what people say is true, then I've definitely got somebody looking out for me.
Yeah, I think you do, but I think you also have yourself.
That too. I'm getting pretty good at magic.
You can only imagine the things that you've been able to figure out while we've been doing all of our crazy things. So. Thank you for the broom. We'll bring it back to you.
You're welcome. She goes back to packing her things.
Yeah. I will leave with the broom, I guess.
As you leave, she's just trying to balance a pot plant on a bunch of other things.
Oh, V.
Yeah, so you all return to the compound with potions, broom, and everything that you need. Elizabeth, you tinker with elementals for a while.
Also, like, I don't know. She wouldn't start unless Lydia Felka was around, because I'm pretty sure Lydia Felka said she'd be interested in watching.
Yeah, Lydia Felka like sort of comes out to watch as you start up.
So yeah. But yeah, she's probably just like summons one of each of the elementals. Well, summons them one at a time.
Yeah.
Messes around, like sees how fast they fly and stuff like that for like an hour, and then switches to the other one.
Yeah, after the demonstration is sort of done, Lady Falke just sort of sits back and says, well, they both have their ups and downs, don't they? One is
Yeah.
decidedly faster.
Hmm.
I suppose it really depends on the tools you need.
Yeah. Because they both have very different methods of attack as well.
Yes, I'm not particularly sure which will be most helpful. My experience with dragons is, well, limited to textbooks, as I suppose quite almost everyone who's alive in this age is.
Yeah. Though, gosh. I know the dragon was alarmingly fast once it got in the air.
I imagine size lends itself a great deal to that. With the larger your wingspan, the faster you can travel.
True.
It does leave somewhat to be desired in the agility department, though. I imagine its turning speeds are not as high, and, well, it's certainly going to struggle in any place that's confined.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps that's something you can use. Perhaps there's a way to... Do you know any crafting magic that lets you manipulate sort of the spaces that you encounter people in? I know I've experimented with walls of wind and water before.
Nothing spontaneous enough for maybe our needs.
Oh. I'm afraid I don't have much more to suggest than that.
Well, your input is valued nonetheless. It's honestly an honor to meet someone as skilled in magic as yourself.
She sort of smiles and says, well, I do have somewhat of the head start. I graduated with the highest honours from my academy course, and, well, I sort of never left. Magic's been my whole life, really.
Yes.
That and diplomacy.
Yes, and even though magic's been all of my life, it's a decidedly shorter one.
Well, I must say, for one so young, you have learned such a great deal. If I was your age and knew what you knew, well, I would have been so much more advanced.
It helps when you have good teachers and, well, the resources, I suppose. Even if my family took a bit of convincing to get me on this path.
She sort of smiles and chuckles and says, "Yes, I suppose it would do. At my age, well, at the age you are now, my parents were trying to get me to put on dresses and attend formal events, and I couldn't think of anything more that I wanted to do than continue reading my books."
I mean, yeah, Elizabeth probably starts laughing and said, "Well, our parents were definitely bugging us to do very different things. My parents wanted me outside of my older sister sparring."
I don't think Father would ever let me anywhere near a sword. Ellie was a different case, but he was always a rebel.
Well, both my father and my mother's families have been a long line of warriors. It's kind of runs in the family. I'm probably the first to favor magic over a blade. Or a bow.
It's funny, my family have been nothing more than diplomats and priests for the most part. Elleran and I are both very different to the rest of our family, that is. Mother always said I took after Grandma, but I don't see the resemblance. She was a cleric, and, well, my magic is mostly learned and academic.
True. But hey, having similarities with someone doesn't make you exactly the same.
No, that's very true.
My third parent would always tell me how much I took after my parents, and then how much I took after my mother, and my mother would always tell me how much I took after them.
I suppose it's a matter of what you try as well, because eventually I did try the whole formal events and ballroom dresses, and actually found that I quite liked it.
Well, true, I suppose. I applied a lot of my magic to stuff for combat, I suppose, and yeah.
It's certainly a different art form.
Yes, it really is.
I've always found my skill comes in altering things, generally. Like, the ability to enchant things, manipulate things, teleport things.
Yeah. And, well, abjuration's always been my big interest with magic.
Abjuration is a very flexible art.
It certainly is.
The fact that you can apply it from pretty much anything, objects, people. I also find it's very selfless discipline. So other things they're very much involved around gaining things personally, but you can apply the discipline of abjuration to entirely things other than yourself.
Well, it's how I've helped the party so far. I've always been in amongst them, doing my best to keep them safe. Although past experiences also show I've been getting in a bit too deep myself.
Such is the risk. I've never quite seen war from the front line. I've seen it from a respectable distance, but it does not please me.
No. And I've obviously not seen massed wars, and neither did my parents really. But I don't hope to.
No. Well, sometimes conflict is unavoidable, and I think our current case is a good illustrator of that.
Yes. Gods, dragons.
It is a strange time we live in.
And an excellent sense of timing on their part as well.
I suppose it is no coincidence.
You know, if there's one thing I've learned from traveling the world and sticking our noses in places as we do, there's a lot of weird stuff going on behind the scenes.
Indeed.
Stuff that you're not sure if you really want to get involved in, but you also kind of have to.
Sometimes we're not given a choice.
That too.
I remember when I first met your companions, they were embarking on some, what I thought at the time, foolhardy mission. But if they hadn't succeeded, I think we would be looking at a very different world.
Yes.
But it does not do to dwell on the past.
No, of course not. Well, not for too long anyway.
No. There is a time for reflection, and there is a time for action, and, well, I think we're quite done with reflection.
Yes. Going back to the topic at hand, I think my mind is made up.
Well, it's good that we've accomplished something here.
Yes, I think the speed is going to be invaluable. I don't see the while the Myrmidian has its advantages, that speed loss is too much, I think.
Well. It feels good to fall. I'm sorry, carry on.
Yeah. Besides, both carry the main advantage of being more resistant to whatever this dragon can throw at them.
Indeed. It does feel good to apply the scientific method to such things. It makes you feel more confident, I find.
Glad the scientific method is canon even in this world.
Yeah.
Magic is just sufficiently advanced science.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes. Magic and science have a lot in common.
Even the god powers?
Yes.
No, it's just unexplained science.
Well, it just makes
That's
it
what they
like,
say.
it just makes it like that theory of, yes, God did create the universe via the Big Bang. It's like, yes, God, that thought process of God did create everything. He just did it with science. So yes, gods do give you all this magic with science.
Yeah, science, bitch.
Wow.
Wow.
But yes, eventually your whole squad is reunited. Yeah, you have the rest of an afternoon to do whatever it is that you wish before you set out.
I'd like to summon my griffin, please.
You do so.
Yes.
Thank you.
And also, like, I don't know, I guess as part of the, like, some of the elemental, Elizabeth would probably, like, ask, like, were you, like, ask Lady Felke, like, were you curious about the, what was it, the, I suppose the memory player that we found? I have no idea what to even call it.
I'm curious. I would like to study it, but I think it's one of those things that will need to be studied under the correct conditions. We have controlled environments back at the academy. I think it might be best for me to take a look at that then.
Well, then, well, I have always wanted to go to the academy since I learned of its existence.
I think the Academy would very much like to learn from you as well.
I'm not sure what I could teach it that it doesn't already know.
But there are certain things that individuals possess that a school of thought finds useful.
Then I'd certainly like to contribute if I could.
Well, we'll have to see. Okay. Yeah, does anyone else want to do anything with the afternoon?
I mean, actually, yes, Elizabeth would probably, like, actually go to the little sparring ring and, like, see if there's anyone there.
Yeah, you go to the sparring ring. Sidoni is there. She's in the process of hanging a long red banner.
I just sit and watch, see what she's doing for a moment.
Uh,
was expecting.
Yeah, you observe her for a moment. She's like measuring up to like hang a banner, but clearly doesn't have all the materials she needs, so she starts to fold it back again.
Hi.
Oh, hello. How's it going?
Good. I honestly expected more people to be here.
She sort of like looks around and says, "Well, I imagine they're all out, either out at the range or heading in for lunch."
Ah, fair enough. Well, seeing as you're here, maybe you could help with, well, the reason I came here in the first place?
That depends what it is.
Well, look, see, I'm obviously not usually one for close quarters combat, but that equally doesn't mean I should neglect it because, well, in order to best assist my friends, then I kind of need to be alongside them. So I was kind of looking for someone to spar with, maybe.
She like looks at you, looks at your garb, and says, "You want to learn how to knife fight?"
Wow.
I mean,
Damn.
that's us. Well, not necessarily with a knife, but you know, with a. I guess I do carry a dagger with me, but like I also have a fairly useful staff.
Ah, okay. Staffs are not really my thing, but I can teach you a thing or two.
I'd be very grateful if you could.
Sure.
I still remember a little bit from what little my parents made me do, but it's been a while.
Okay. Yeah, you can spend some time stave fighting with Sidani.
Cool.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything they want to do with this afternoon?
Yeah, this is just a quick note. I think once everybody is kind of getting ready to pack it in, Lithari packs up her painting supplies and stuff, and heads to the gate. But as she does so, she stops by to say hi to the guard that she was talking to last night. And
What is with this guard?
Poor guy.
And basically hands him a set of small parchments, and it's just like, here's a little. I was hit by a sudden flash of inspiration and thought you would enjoy these. And then hands them over, and then without lingering, waves goodbye and heads inside.
Okay. He slowly unfurls them.
There are various charcoal sketches of him, just like looking at various like egg splatters on the ground.
Oh my god.
Wow. I can't believe it.
She's such a fucking troll. I can't.
Yep.
Lithari's great.
I don't even know how he came up with this stuff.
And yeah, that's it.
I'm sure he greatly appreciates that.
Yeah, we'll have to see what comes of that later. But yeah, so I guess as you guys finish up, you prepare all your things, set everything ready, have one last debrief, and then get ready to go to bed before setting out the next morning.
Oh yeah, I will warn everybody about the mist, but
Oh,
unless
yes,
anybody has any ideas, then
Miss.
move on.
yes. If anyone has any plans to deal with a mysterious mist. But yeah, I think that is a good point to take a very, very brief break.
Yes.